Hey, Wanderers, how you doing? If you haven't met with us before, my name is Steve,
And I'm Laura.
and we are the Wandering Empty Nesters. We're taking you on reviews of all the places we go and letting you know about the travel tips and secrets that you might not know yet or you might not have experienced yet. So we just got finished with a month of traveling, a lot of different places, and we're going to focus right on this session on one of the five, I think it was five different restaurants we went to while in Myrtle Beach this time.
New restaurants
New
for
restaurants.
us.
There's so many restaurants in Myrtle Beach, and when I say Myrtle Beach, I always make sure people understand I mean North Myrtle Beach, because when most people think about Myrtle Beach, they are or say Myrtle Beach, they're thinking about what we refer to as South Myrtle Beach, and that is the area where most of the tourists are, where you see the big Ferris wheel and there's a
Amusement
family
park.
amusement park there. North Myrtle Beach, while it is somewhat touristy, it's more about a lot of different restaurants and bars. It's more family oriented. There's grocery stores there. And then, of course, we're up in Cherry Grove, which is even more so. It's closer to North Carolina than it is the other way. So they're North Myrtle Beach. But on this episode, we're going to focus on a little restaurant called Blueberries. Really interesting place that we went to down on the Barefoot Landing. Now, this is almost to that line, sort of an imaginary line I just spoke of between North Myrtle Beach and Myrtle Beach. Barefoot Landing is a sort of a tourist area, but there are shops and restaurants. It's right on an inland lagoon there. It's about half a mile from the ocean itself. You can see the hotels and that are over that way. It's right next door to one of our favorite places, Duplin Winery, where we go every single day.
Sounds really bad.
If you're in the North Myrtle Beach area and you ever drive past Duplin's, stop in on, we're typically there after 5, but often sometimes as early as 2. Stop in and see
Or
us
12.
if we're there. And we're typically out by the fire pits if it's in the cooler months, or up under the shade, listen to the music. Stop by and say hi. But let's talk about Blueberries now. So Blueberries is located more on the highway side of Barefoot Landing. It's on the south corner, and it's really kind of a breakfast lunch place, right? They
Yes.
do not do dinner, which is kind of amazing when we talk about it here.
And it looks really big, but it's actually pretty small inside. It's more outside seating.
Yeah, outside is much larger than inside. And outside, and this is why I say it's kind of amazing they just do lunch, right? First of all, let's just say great atmosphere, great looking
They
restaurant.
took some time.
And outside, you have a wraparound porch that goes around 2 sides, and there's tables that you can sit on like the inner side that kind of looks out towards the other shops and whatnot. And then sort of on the parking lot side, but you can't really see the parking lot because they have a kind of a little water area with this big cascading fountain. And on that deck, they have some nice seated couches and that 2-sided fireplace, but they're only open during the daytime.
No, I know. That's disappointing.
I mean,
You want the fireplace in the evening.
I could definitely, and they have a bar.
Yeah.
Outside, they have a bar. I can't remember if the bar had a window that we were there in the morning. Did the window open?
Yes, because it had little bar seats.
Okay, there you go. Oh, honestly, I could see there being in the afternoon, but it'd be better in the evening. But sitting on those little casual couches, near that double-sided fireplace, which is cool. It's double-sided, but one side is just glass. So the wind's not going to blow through there if it should be blowing. It's not going to blow through there. And so you can, and you got the fire going, and that fountain was so active that you could just hear the water.
Blueberry, if you're listening, we want you open in the evening.
Well, look, we would love that, but we understand that you value your evenings, and obviously your employer is good with that. So I feel for you. If I could only work till 4 or 5 every day, as if I work till 4 or 5 every day, I would. So I get it. I bet the employees there are super loyal, because not being open at night definitely gives them more family time and other things. So look, that's great. Don't open at night. We'll come there during the day and we'll experience it. But let's talk about inside. So we go inside, and it's a nice area, well done, huge high ceilings, really bright and clean. We sit down to eat, and what I love about this, and you don't see this in every restaurant, so we didn't really know what we were going to get yet. Now, you probably did, because you always look at menus beforehand.
Sometimes I change, but yes, I have an idea.
I never look at menus beforehand. I mean, I might scan it just to make sure there's something, but I don't pick out anything beforehand. So you choose the stack.
The sandwich.
The sandwich stack. Now, this is coming with, as you see here, you see it a little bit in advance, but it's got gravy, has biscuits, sausage, egg, and hash browns, which are nicely seasoned potatoes, not your skillet hash or anything like that. And so you order that, and then I go to order, and the waitress pauses me and she's like, just so you know, a lot of people find this to be a large meal.
And you love when they take care of you that way.
What is better than a server who gives you advice, who said, we love the place in Puerto Vallarta when you went to order and they're like, not tonight. It didn't come out great tonight. Order something else, come back tomorrow or whatever and try that then. Again, I've said this in the videos, it's about expectation. If let's say, because it's Myrtle Beach and like everywhere's, I'm not gonna say it's expensive, but every place is expensive. $18 an entree.
Breakfast.
And for breakfast, that could seem a little extreme to people, but when you see the quantity of food, it isn't. But if we both ordered an $18 meal, of which we could eat half or less of, you would probably have a poor viewpoint of that place. You'd be like, well, I mean, it would be a lesson learned, and maybe you love the food, but you would think it was expensive. That would always be in your mind. So yes, and what she said on top of that I liked was, maybe try one, and if you're still hungry, order another one. Fabulous advice. In fact, you know what? If you're a server and your employer would empower you to do this, I'm going to tell you from my point of view, and I think others too, you just earned a bigger tip coming from that money you saved me, right? Look, I'm not maybe not going to tip $18+ I was already going to tip. Maybe not going to tip an extra $18 for breakfast, but you're getting part of that. There's no doubt. You're getting part of the savings on top of the tip I was already going to give you, because that's just outstanding. Outstanding service, Blueberries. So let's talk about the food. The food comes and we're immediately like, wow, yep, that is definitely big. And the one thing that was odd, and you see here, and I'm not sure if this was a regular thing, I got the grits. So I got a side of grits because it didn't come with the meal. And I like grits. Something I've learned to eat through travels to the South. Started with shrimp and grits, and then I just started liking grits, period. But typically you get some cheese on the grits, and I've never seen a slice of cheese laid on the grits. That was new.
Yeah, I think that was just them. That's not a Southern thing.
To be fair, I'm going to have to order it again.
Yeah, well, it did not melt in.
It did not melt in.
Yeah, it just kind of
Although I will say I kind of stirred it with the spoon, and it did break apart because it's hot underneath there, and so it did. But not the same as shredded cheese. Never seen it like that before. It was just an odd presentation. Didn't affect the taste at all. Grits were great, but the food itself, we're talking about, and that she laid down that plate, and we immediately knew, one is all if we can eat this. A huge sausage biscuit sandwich, full, at least a whole egg on each of them, a whole sausage patty on each of them. This wasn't something that she went back and said, hey, chef, they're going to share this. And he took the normal portion and made it into two, which happens sometimes. We had that happen in another place recently.
This was actual two biscuits,
right?
Huge biscuits.
We were on the cruise, I think, or somewhere, and they said, well, if you want to share, we'll just split it onto the plate so you don't have to split it apart. That happens sometimes. They take but this is how it's designed to be delivered. And then there's a side of gravy that comes with it. And at first we thought, well, that's kind of a tiny side of gravy, but it's kind of a deep dish. It looks a little bit small, but it's deep, and it worked for both. It was some of the better gravy that I've had.
True sausage gravy.
It was really good.
Yeah.
No disrespect to Milk and Honey. And Milk and Honey.
It's good too.
So Milk and Honey has a lot of different kinds of gravy, and we weren't able to review them this time because they close for the season. So whenever we're there in the fall, they're closed. When we go back in April, Milk and Honey will be open. We'll do a review of them. We've been there before. They have different kinds of gravy. They only have one kind of gravy here, and the one kind of gravy they have, they do very well. So Blueberry, now, like I started to say at the beginning, there are so many restaurants in Myrtle Beach that I've said many times, I could come here and try a different one for 10 years. That's probably a little bit extreme. But I'm going to say in North Myrtle Beach, Cherry Grove alone, and I don't think this is an exaggeration, 300 to 400 restaurants.
Yeah. I mean, you could go, 5 years.
Yeah. And never do one twice.
Never do one twice.
Now, there is one we do at least almost every time we're there. That's 39th Ave. 39th Ave, we're going to do a review on because we were there again this time. So there'll be a review coming up of that. Check for that. Where's Blueberry fit? Is it a go back or is it a try once?
It's a go back, maybe not at every time because we don't go out for breakfast every day.
And there are a lot of good breakfast places.
It may be like a every other trip down.
Yeah, but it's definitely,
but we go multiple times a year. So,
and there are places that even though that had good food, we don't revisit each time or even each year.
Yeah,
we try different places.
You can't. There's so many. And you always have that one or two that's a favorite you want to make sure you get, plus more new ones. So you can't you can't do them.
I would definitely go back to Blueberries. It is one of those places where if I was in the and here's the thing I hate about myself. I could probably go back over the next 3 years 3 times, and I'm gonna get the same meal. It's
Well,
just good,
I won't do that.
but I will. And we'll talk about other places like Blue Drum and other places where I do get the same thing often. 39th Ave, I absolutely get the same thing every time, but that's for a different time, a different story. Blueberries should be on your list if you're visiting North Myrtle Beach, especially if you want a great breakfast. And also check them out for lunch. And if you get a great day, sit outside. The ambiance out there is fantastic, and the service is top notch. Blueberry is definitely wander-worthy, and we're going to give it a wander-worthy stamp. You get the wander-worthy stamp. We'll see you on the next review.
Thanks for spending a little time with us today. If you enjoyed this and want more insider tips, real travel stories, and deals that make your bucket list closer than you think, be sure to scan the QR code, hit subscribe, or follow. Why? Because every week we bring you ideas that save you money, inspire your next adventure, and show you how to travel smarter without the stress. Don't just dream about travel, make it happen with us. Follow now so you never miss your next chance to wander worthy.